Video games have often been painted in a negative light as an addictive refuge for people lacking direction. But a rising tide of professional gaming competitions in recent years has brought respectability to the pastime, and gaming will even be an official event at the 2022 Asian Games in Hangzhou. Although South Korea dominates the video game industry, Taiwan is starting to make its mark at international tournaments. Tonight, let's take a look at how pro gamers are made and the growing calls for official recognition of the industry. Our Sunday special report.
In March this year, President Tsai Ing-wen made a trip to game with the pros at the training center of the Flash Wolves, who are League of Legends Master Series champions. Later, the president said that amending the Sports Industry Development Act could be a suitable way to channel resources and subsidies towards the eSports industry. Gaming is often labelled as addictive or is detrimental to physical and mental health. So why has the president now decided to get behind it? Entering this professional esports company, you're greeted by a horde of different esports trophies from global contests.
For the better part of a decade, the International has invited the world's finest Dota teams.
A representative esports event is the International Dota 2 tournament. At the last event held in the US in August 2017, professional teams battled it out for more than 700 million NT in prize money, with 300 million NT going to the winners. There are currently 4 or 5 Taiwanese companies training teams of professional competitive gamers.
以我们现在的标准来说的话，我们是12点钟起床。
Norm is to get up at 12 noon. That's when we clock in. We have to be at our place by 1 p.m. and then start our solo exercises. At 2 or 3, we start team practice. At 7, we eat and then we come back and continue team practice. After 9, we start to review that day's team practice. If necessary, it can go on later than that. If it's a normal day, we finish work at 11 p.m.
For professional gamers, a day's work is not just playing games. They also have to scrutinize their battle strategies with their teammates and sometimes practice with other international pros.
Professional teams all use various apps to schedule battles with other teams. Through the apps, we can practice online against teams from Korea, China, Europe, or America.
Global esports championships attract vast numbers of viewers, and the pro teams, composed of the players and their coaches, team managers and physical therapists, have minutely honed competitive strategies and procedures in the same way that professional athletes do. That's why they'll be featured as a demonstration sport at the Asian Games in Jakarta in 2018 and become an official event at the Hangzhou Asian Games in 2022.
I think it just makes sense to classify esports as a sport because we're also a team and we compete against other countries' teams in virtual tournaments. Although we don't use our bodies and we're not looking to win based on our movements, we're competing with our brains and with our hands. I remember even Japanese 5-in-a-row gomoku is listed as a sport. All chess games are classified as sports, and they're not sweating either.
Not far from Taiwan lies one of the countries that dominates the gaming industry, Korea, where signing bonuses and annual salaries typically start at a combined 10 million NT dollars, attracting many young people to knuckle down at their computers in the hope of becoming the next big thing. But not all of them will achieve their dream of becoming an esports star.
You have to have a gift. If your reflexes or your judgment aren't good enough, it doesn't matter how hard you practice. If you play 18 hours a day, it won't get you anywhere.
In 2016, 2 Taiwanese universities started pioneering esports training programs. They wanted to ensure that Taiwan's competitive gamers put down sure roots in the international sports world. But the institutions provoked a storm of criticism by setting up esports studies programs.
People from academia, as well as in society and prospective students' families, all thought this was just a dubious ruse to attract applicants, because we know they like playing games. But what we want to teach is all the skills the support teams require. We want to enable them to work in the sector for 30 or 40 years after they graduate. Education is a benevolent occupation.
The annual production value of Taiwanese esports is a whopping 50 billion NT, meaning the field is rich with all kinds of job opportunities. There are 200 million gamers around the world, generating an output value of 3 trillion NT a year. The 2024 Paris Olympic Committee is considering whether to include esports as an official event in its schedule.
Esports is not some kind of scary hobgoblin. It's going to become a massive industry in the next 10 to 20 years. Taiwan is really suited to developing esports. Our digital infrastructure is much better than that of other countries. Taiwan is an island of tech. Both our government and our industrial sector have to consider how to ensure this island of tech is at the very forefront of tech developments.
Check.